Good folks, to be back with a brand new video today. If you're really good and if I'm really up to it, I might give you 2 videos for the price of 1. Now you're probably wondering, why am I using my hands in a backward seesaw motion, if you like I'm, you know, groping somebody? Because I'm talking about Scarlett Johansson, an actress we all used to lust and desire to be with. Now personally, Scar Joe is not my cup of tea. I prefer starlets from the 1980s and 90s personally. From today's Hollywood standards, maybe Sydney Sweeney is definitely in my top 3 babes. So what's the story that I'm talking about today? Was Scarlett Johansson, who is the headline star of Jurassic World Rebirth.
That is one big pile of shit.
The whole point that she's leading a band of other masculine men in the poster, when her character is not much of a mercenary to talk about. She appears out of nowhere. We don't know her background history, nothing. And I know today is the 2nd of July, and that's why I'm stuck here at home looking after my mum and making this video. Because do you think I'm gonna pay my hard-earned cash to go and watch that sloppy drivel of a movie, which by the way is co-written by David Cope, who wrote the original all the way back then? But it seems when you bring back the old DNA roots, it ain't gonna matter. You're still gonna get a big lump of shit at the end of the day. So this article here from Variety, which is actually extrapolated from the Times article from whence it came. I think that might be a paywall site, which is why we're getting it here now as a third-party read-through, is rather, well, how can I say, gestating, boring. It sounds like Scar Joe is ungrateful for the opportunities her looks gave her in Hollywood, opening many doors, maybe a few back doors, if you get my drift.
Yes, hallelujah, it's the video show. And now, the man the BBC calls
Jason King on Kung Fu Hot Dog.
How do I rate Scarlett as an actress? She's okay. She can be mediocre. She can be good. I heard she's a singer. I don't know how good she is as that, but should I close my ears and wait and see what beholds me when I press this button?
It's up to you, New York, New York.
Now, in a recent interview with the Times of London, Johansson said that when she first entered the industry, which always sounds like a dubious phrase to even come out with, the role she was offered usually centered around desirability, oh dear God, and the goals and needs of her male counterparts. Now, if you guys remember her starring or co-starring role with Joseph Gordon-Levitt as Don John, well, she certainly had no issues rubbing up her leafy body against his in some rather steamy scenes.
It's not time for that.
But my God, Johansson did not have a problem puckering up and pouting up to the camera and getting all smoochy and raunchy with Mr. Levitt. I mean, good grief, who wouldn't want to swap places with him just to get a moment of screen time glory with Miss Johansson in her absolute prime? Because these days, she's looking like a hag, which is why she's using a skincare product to promote Jurassic World Rebirth.
Hey everyone, I'm Scarlett Johansson. I just got through filming a long day of Jurassic World Rebirth.
Action.
And now I'm going to show you how I get unready.
Now, in this article, Johansson says, however, she thinks that the Hollywood of today is ushering a different time for young women. Now, this is the same Scar Joe who wanted to play a trans character and was called out for it and didn't get a chance in the end, because I guess she's a biological female and playing something opposite to that is contradictory. Despite the fact that Jared Leto did it for the Dallas Buyers Club, and I think he won an Oscar as well, didn't he? So nobody said anything about his performance, but when it came to Scar Joe, it was a different kettle of fish altogether. But you know what? When I hear a comment like that, it sounds like she's ungrateful for the looks that her parents gave to her, woe is me, I'm such a stunning sex symbol that I can't get the certain roles I want because my looks are holding me back. Remember that scene in Civil War where she plays Black Widow having a disagreement with Tony Stark, played by RDJ? And if you saw that at the cinema, you can tell the camera enjoyed almost zooming in on her butt. But I think when you see that scene, it's actually a body double, because we just hear an ADR of Johansson talking over that particular moment. But as she walks away, you can tell RDJ's having an eyeful of that rear that we don't see anymore.
I'm not the one that needs to watch their back.
So what gives? And of course, famously or infamously, Jeremy Renner and Chris Evans, one of those two guys referred to as having slutty behavior on the Age of Ultron, which I thought was a very funny comment to make.
What do you guys make of that?
She's a slut.
I was gonna say something along that line.
It's a complete whore.
Trick, man.
Now from Harper's Bazaar, because of course they would get involved, won't they? Scarlett Johansson felt hyper sexy in Hollywood from a young age. Now of course that's actually probably quite a true statement. But then again, who's actually pushing for that? I mean, I imagine that this chick escaped the clutches of Harvey Weinstein, but many others probably weren't so fortunate. This photograph right here of one of the comedy greats of all time, Bill Murray, eyeing up a young Scarlett Johansson. Now, he could be looking at somebody else in his peripheral vision, but it looks like he's looking at the back of her head. I'm probably over-analyzing. And then on the left of him is the director of Lost in Translation, Sofia Coppola, who again had no problem, by the way, and I have to go back to this, had no problem opening up the film with ScarJo's rear, if indeed that actually was or a body double. Take a good look, fellas. This is ScarJo, who has no problem flirting for the camera, right? She's now complaining that she doesn't want to be the object of desire anymore for men everywhere. But hey, ScarJo, since you don't like men gooning at you, but we like to goon at female video game characters, here's the first descendant where the skins of 2B and A2, otherwise known as Near Automata, can be downloaded for the gameplay that's coming out in August, the new extra DLC. So shall we feast our eyes, folks, in 4K and Gorp and Gander? What is up with my broadband today? So I think that's the A2 skin. Can't remember now. The real star of this trailer. It's not even 2B, it's her. Holy shit. People are saying in the comments below, can we have a crossover with Stellar Blade? I think it might happen in the future, but yeah, there you go, ScarJo. So we don't care about ogling you and your goodies anymore. You're kind of past your sell-by date. But in terms of immortality, let's look at a video game creation like this and sit back and ask ourselves, oh my god, what is the big deal? But then again, I think ScarJo is born in the wrong place at the wrong time, even though she's had a very successful career and probably likes to ignore her counterparts from the 80s and 90s who had no problem celebrating their femininity and beauty and booty all over the place. And if you ended up enjoying this video today, folks, make sure you give it a like, smash the subscribe button. And who knows, maybe I'll catch you catching me for the return of the next video.
You know, we are objectified by the media. Certainly women are, you know, I mean, it's like we do it to each other. You know, certainly done. I mean, I sell lipstick and mascara, and this image that is the kind of quintessential blonde bombshell Hollywood iconic
Today,
thing,
Junior!
which is